Hello everyone, it's Dave from Dave's Recent Things. Today I'm going to be making this USA Patriotic bandana wreath. Why don't I just get started and show you how I made it. I am using this 14-inch wire wreath frame that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I have three colors of bandanas: red, blue, and white, and I got these from the Dollar Tree as well. And these little wooden stars that I collected from the Dollarama. And white acrylic paint. And that is everything that I used to create this bandana wreath. I'm going to start off with my bandanas and cutting them. And these bandanas, they're 20 inch by 20 inch, and they come in packages of two. So in total, I used 6 of each color. So that's 3 packages of 2, which creates the 6. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut each bandana in half. And I'm just going to use that center seam, that fold line there, as a guide. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut each one in half. So they result in a 10-inch by a 20-inch rectangle for the white. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing for the red, just cutting it down right the middle. And lastly, I'm going to do the exact same thing for all of my bandanas in the blue color as well. Once they're all cut, I'm just going to put them to the side. And here is my 14-inch wire wreath frame. And I'm going to be using the entire width of the frame today. All I'm going to do is take my 10 by 20 rectangle, fold it in half. I'm going to create a little loop. You'll see the loop right there at the end with my fabric, and then I'm going to wrap that right around and push the other portion through that loop. And that's going to create our little white stripe for our USA Patriotic bandana wreath. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with the red. Going to grab the middle, fold it in half. I'm going to create that loop, wrap that all the way around our wreath frame, and then feed the other end through the loop and give it just a couple of good pulls just to make sure it's nice and tight. And of course, you don't have to use a wire wreath frame for this. You can use one of those styrofoam frames as well. I just had the wire wreath frame laying around, so I thought, why not? And now I'm going to alternate between the red and the white, folding it in half, and then tying it on to my wreath frame. A nice, easy, simple DIY to create a great patriotic wreath. I loved how this turned out, and you'll get to see that in about 5 minutes, right at the very end. But I'm just alternating between the red and the white. I'm folding it, looping it, and then tying it, and then just kind of moving it around to where I want to place it. And of course, once I'm done placing all my red and white bandanas, I'm going to move on and create my blue portion. So about 2/3 of the wreath is the red and white. So to create the red and white stripes of the USA flag. And now I'm just going to do the exact same procedure, folding it in half, creating a loop, and then tying that onto the wreath frame. And I'm going to use all of my blue bandanas now. And this is going to create that little rectangle of blue that's on the flag. It's going to represent that anyways. It's not a rectangle, but it'll represent it anyways. And I just continue adding on that blue. And I just love the colors of these. They're so vibrant. It's amazing. And doing my last couple of loops and ties. And I am finished creating my red, white, and blue wreath. How pretty does that look? I just love how this turned out. I couldn't stop touching it. I just loved it. And to add the stars, I found these little wooden stars. And I got these at the Dollarama, which is a dollar store here in Canada. But I have seen something similar in the Dollar Tree. So you can totally get those at the Dollar Tree. And since it's a natural wood color, I wanted the stars to actually be white. I'm just going to use white acrylic paint to paint those stars. And what I'm going to do is just add a very small dollop of hot glue and glue that down. This is just wax paper that I have down. such that it's a little bit easier to paint those stars. So I'm going to glue these all down. And when I did take them off, there was a little bit of wax paper left over, but it doesn't matter because that's the back side and that's attached to the blue portion. And you really didn't see the back side afterwards anyways. And then I just started painting each star with that white acrylic paint. And you see they're not moving, they're glued down. So it's a lot easier and a lot less messy actually to do this than it is to hold it in your hand and paint it. Now, this did take me a couple of coats. So the first coat was kind of like a primer, and then I added a second coat, and then I let it all completely dry. And I'm going to bring back my wreath again. It's all finished, it's all ready to go. And then my stars are all dry now. And here they are, nice and white, exactly how I wanted them. And all I'm going to do is flip it over to the back side, add some hot glue down, and then I'm just going to stick that on the blue portion. I'm going to hold it for a bit just to make sure it's dry, make sure it's attached, and then I'm going to start adding the rest of my stars onto my wreath. I just love the contrast of those stars, the white stars against the blue. They really, really popped on this wreath. I was really so happy with it. And there you go. My stars are all down. My wreath is all completed. I have my red and white stripes. I have my blue. I have my white stars. What a great way and what a great representation of the US flag. A great Dollar Tree bandana patriotic wreath. I hope you enjoyed it today because I had a lot of fun making this as well. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's wreath. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching today again. Take care. Bye for now.